Good morning, everyone. First thing first, is my voice audible? Good morning, Yamuna.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. So, what I am discussing yesterday is Plato's theory of justice, and I said why this is very important because in paper one, you have a complete separate topic called justice. In order to understand that thing, the basics of that lie here. You have basics of justice from here. You have basis of state from here. Hence, there are two separate units itself in understanding the so-called justice. So, the roots of understanding the two chapters lies here. That is the major reason what you have in this particular context. So, this is the thing. So, whenever I say how this is important in that context. Theory of state, theories of justice. So, two separate concepts are there. Now, this is the man I said who has propounded the so called justice for the very first time, and he has written a book called The Republic, which says, or his title of the book is this, subtitle is Concerning Justice. This is the major goal of Plato. Now, in this concerning justice, what is the theme of that book is? The theme of the book is politics and ethics. And he said that politics and ethics should go together. If you are separating them, then there is no use. The answer for political problems will be in ethics, not in politics. That is what he said. So he starts speaking about justice here, and this gives rise to many forms of justice. There will be many theories of justice, and there will be theories of state also, whether state is highest thing or whether individual is highest thing in a state. Hence, it also gives rise to social contractivism. Social contractivism. So this particular theme itself has many sub-themes in it for the syllabus as such. Right. Now justice as per Plato is an architectonic virtue, or it is the virtue of all the virtues. He says this. Now why that is called virtue of all the virtues and everything, we will see it. Let's go into that. Justice, Plato's theory of justice. Right. So he has written the book concerning justice. In this, he said that there is an ideal state. State has to be ideal, and that state is known as Kali polis. In Greek, you call it as Kali polis, which means an ideal state. And the book is a treatise on politics and ethics. There is no difference between politics and ethics. Problems for politics will be finding solutions in ethics, and hence he says justice is supreme virtue, virtue of all the other virtues. Whatever the other virtues that are there, for example, your liberty, your equality, your tolerance, your peace, everything is a virtue. Now, all these virtues are shot up or produced from the so-called roots of one justice, that is called one virtue, that is called justice. This is the theory that they propose. I said he has used a concept of dialectics to prove his point. Dialectics means synthesis of justice. Now he has taken some people of that times like Cephalus, Polymarchus, Thyrasimachus, Glaucon, Adamantis. So yesterday I discussed about up to Thyrasimachus. Right. Now look at these theories of justice. Now, Cephalus and Polymarchus have propounded conventional theory of justice. I discussed he is the father, he is the son. Both son and father went in line with conventional theory of justice. What is conventional? Conventional means traditional. సాంప్రదాయంగా ఉండేదాన్ని కన్వెన్షనల్ అంటాం, ట్రెడిషనల్. So conventional theory of justice says justice is virtue. Conventional theory of justice says justice is virtue. Right. Now, Thyrasimachus says justice, the theory that he propounded is radical theory of justice. What do I mean by radical? When you call a person as radical, you call a person as radical when they are asking for radical transformations, a complete overhaul of traditions, complete overhaul of traditions. If someone is asking to completely overhaul the traditions, then you call them as radicals. So these people has propounded radical theory of justice. Now, what is radical? He has turned 180 degrees and said conventional theory is wrong. Rather, it is radical theory that he has propounded. What is that radical theory? Yesterday we have seen. He has said one concept that is called might is right. Whoever is might, whatever they say and whatever they do, that is right. So that is the point. Next, you have Blaucon and Adamantis. Today I'll discuss about them. And they have given one theory called the instrumentality theory or the pragmatic theory of justice. Instrumentality or pragmatic theory of justice. What is this? We'll study. Now, what is the challenge for Socrates and how Socrates answers this? Right. A quick recap about Cephalus, Polemarchus, and Thyrasimachus. We have discussed with them. Remember this, in justice there are many theories. One theory is conventional theory. So far we have studied conventional theory. We have studied radical theory of justice. Today we will see instrumental theory of justice and universal value of justice. So there are four theories in this. What are those? We'll see. Now Cephalus and Polemarchus, they are father and son duo. What they said? One person said justice is honesty in word and deeds, or simply paying one's debts and obligations. This is what I said. What is justice? For Cephalus, if you have borrowed the money, return back the money. Right? Borrowing whatever you have, repaying whatever you have borrowed is justice according to Cephalus. Now, what does he mean to say this? He mean to say this: you can die a peaceful death only when you are debt free. That is what the theory of Cephalus is. And dying a peaceful death is something like dying a peaceful life is death is something like justice. Once you will be happy by doing it. Hence, this is conventional theory. Why conventional theory? He says that justice is virtue. What is virtue? Virtue is something which makes you happy. Now, according to Cephalus, what makes happy is repaying back our debts. So, he has equated justice to virtue. That is completely fine. But the theory he says is what is virtue is repaying back your debts. For this, I said Socrates answered or questioned Cephalus. Okay, if you have borrowed the money, you are repaying it and then you are calling it as virtue. That is good. I do agree. But what if you have borrowed a weapon like a sword or a gun from one man, and when you are returning it, and as per your logic you have to return it because that is virtue, returning whatever you have borrowed is virtue. But consider when you are repaying the money that you have taken from this person, consider that when you are repaying back, if the person is mad, if he has gone out of his senses, when he has given you that weapon, he was in his senses. But when you are repaying it back, if he is out of his senses, if he has become mad, then do you give the same weapon to that fellow? Because if you are giving it, he is going to harm you. Can you say that it is going to be a peaceful life? Right? It will be like a tragedy story, right? Because you are repaying, but because of that repayment, you are getting killed in the hands of that madman. Why? For madman, if you are giving weapon, then he will misuse it. So the father was baffled. Then comes the son. Polymarchus. He tries to answer this question of Socrates. Now, Socrates, he says that justice is just helping friends and harming enemies. If he is mad fellow, don't give back. So help only your friends and not the so-called helping your enemies. If he is an enemy, you know that mad fellow will kill me. As a result, he will be enemy. So I don't pay it back. This is what Polymarchus says. So based on these two principles, Cephalus and Polymarchus both are, I said, considered traditional theories of justice or conventional theory of justice. Justice is virtue. Justice is virtue అంటారు. ఎందుకు virtue అంటారు అంటే because it will be making you happy. How it will be making you happy? One fellow says by repaying debts, the other fellow says repay only to the friends, not to the enemies. So what Socrates said to those two persons is justice is desirable, justice is virtue. I do agree what you have said. However, Socrates said, I don't accept the principle of harming anyone. You are saying that you have to harm your friends, no, you have to help your friends, and you have to harm your enemies. That is what Polymarchus was saying. But what Socrates asked for this question is, yesterday I said, will your friends remain same all through your life? Is there no chance of your friends turning out to be your enemies? And is there no chance of turning off your enemies into friends? Then he couldn't answer this. Yes, friends can become enemies in our lifetime, enemies can become friends at one time, right? So, how can you quantify this then? That is what Socrates has asked. Now, he said he has no answer. Then he said that Socrates said that justice is one thing which cannot involve the principle of harming anyone. So, whatever logic that you are saying, though I do agree that justice is virtue, but if you are saying that the justice has to harm someone, I don't agree. No, he said that justice is an idea which has universal application. Universal means it won't look at your friends, it won't look at your enemies. It will have universal application. At all places, at all times, for every person, justice will be same. That is what he is saying. So this fact of justice or this theory of justice is called universal theory of justice. ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళిన ప్రపంచంలో న్యాయం అనేది మారదు అనేసి ఏం చెప్తున్నా. Now, there was one more fellow, Thyrasimachus. Now I said he is a sophist. Thyrasimachus, he has propounded one more theory of justice. What is his theory of justice? Radical theory of justice. Now, what is its or what is his radical theory of justice? Justice is in the interest of strong and less profitable than injustice. Right? Justice is in the interest of strong and it is less profitable than injustice. Means it is only for the weak that they should follow these terms called values or justice. But for the strong, whatever the strong fellow says, that is going to be just. That is what Thyrasimachus was saying. I'll continue this now. Now I said this, Cephalus has one thing, and Cephalus was answered by this man. Justice is honesty in words and deeds of paying one's debt. Then you become happy because you are very honest. Hence he is equating justice to honesty. But if you are happy and if you are repaying your debts, he is asking if you are giving back the weapon to harm anyone. So he said that no, this is not justice. He is proving wrong. He is saying a thesis, antithesis was proposed by Socrates here. Now, what is the synthesis? Synthesis is justice cannot be inadequate. This is inadequate justice. You are not able to fulfill it. So, what is right should be further concluded. That is what the thing. Polymarket said justice is helping friends, harming enemies, and giving everyone his due. Now, who exactly is your friend? Who exactly is your enemy? How you are going to determine? So it would be inappropriate to at just times. So it is again inconsistent. So this is antithesis. So the synthesis is again, this is not the definition of justice. Why? It is becoming not universal. It is just particular. In particular situation you are applying this. So this doesn't apply and only to few persons. So justice has to be universal as per Plato. That is what he said, universal as per his Plato, and he should not harm anyone. Now, Thyrasimachus, he was a sophist. Who is a sophist? I said this on day one, right? Now, sophist, he is the chief antagonist of Socrates, chief antagonist, chief critic. Now, sophists are teachers and they teach to the rich and they collect money. Hence, they don't believe whether money is coming from correct thing or wrong thing. If they are teaching, if they are earning, they consider that money is the answer for everything. They will say money is not bad, right? Hence, they are nihilist. Sophists are called nihilists. What is nihilism? Nihilism means they don't believe in values. They don't believe what is right or what is wrong. They just earn money, but they do not concentrate on whether this money is coming from right thing or wrong thing, right? And these fellows were supported by Thyrasimachus belongs to that tradition. Now these fellows were supported by one person or two persons in their own domain. Who are those? He was supported by Protagoras and Gorgia. Yesterday I didn't use these two terms, I said only Protagoras. Protagoras. Now what Protagoras says is, you don't speak about values, Socrates. You are saying that it has to be beneficial for everyone. It should not harm anyone. So these three things you are saying. But what they say is, if the individual is protecting themselves, no need to bother about society. This is what they said. So Protagoras says, man is the measure of everything. It is not the society which is the measure of everything. Man is the measure of everything. So individual is prior to the society. That is what these fellows are saying. Individual is prior to society. Why they said this concept? Because you are saying that you have to harm none in the society. But he is saying that if the individual is able to cap up, whoever is having might, he will be deciding what is right. So don't speak about society. It is individual who comes first. So Protagoras speaks about individualism. They speaks about society is second to individual, which means individual is prior to the society. As a result, your justice should be on the lines of individual, not on the lines of society. And there is one more person called Gorgia. He has given a concept called skeptical nihilism. What is the skeptical nihilism? No belief in universal values. They don't believe in universal values, that justice has to be same everywhere. They say justice is relative and it is also known as particularistic approach. At that particular situation, whatever is correct, that is correct. Particular means at that situation, whatever is correct, that is correct. In a particular situation, your justice will vary, right? If the parents are feeling bad, we will lie to our parents about our marks. That is called particular situation. So what they say is, Socrates is saying that justice is universal, but these persons are saying justice is particular. This is not universal, it is subjected to space, it is subjected to time. Space, time and base చేసుకొని justice ఉంటుంది అనేసి these people are saying. So this is what these people have been commenting. Now they have propounded this theory called particularistic approach or not universalistic approach. Now what Thairasimachus says, justice is in the interest of strong. Justice is in the interest of the strong, that is the rulers, and not for less. Right? So he says that he is giving relativism. A relativism. So what is that relativism? You depend on mighty people. Those whoever is having might, they will be having right to do, and whatever they do is justice. I said this example. For example, justice may vary from India to North Korea as per these people view. In North Korea, this fellow is the mighty person. Hence, he don't listen to anyone, so people will listen to him. Otherwise, he is going to take drastic steps. So, in India, you have democracy, so your principles of justice will be different. So, they say that justice is not universal, justice is particular. This is what I say. Space and time ki marta untundi ante this is what they say. Now, in reply, now Socrates faced the difficulty to reply. Now he replies that Thyrasimachus is suggesting only ideology, not independent ethics. This is just an idea which is propounding, but it doesn't have ethics. Now why he doesn't have ethics? So what Socrates say? Socrates asks Thyrasimachus this way. Yesterday I discussed this. Can rulers commit mistake? He asked them. Can rulers commit mistake? Then Thyrasimachus answered, yes, at times they might commit mistake. Hence, yes, if rulers are committing mistake, can you say that whatever they are saying is just? Because when by committing mistake, if they are saying that it is just, after correcting that mistake, they might say this is not just. Hence, your concept itself is self-contradictory. You are saying might is right, but the might can commit mistakes. This is what Socrates said. Might can commit mistakes. Right? Now, the second question that he asks Thyrasimachus is ruling an art? Is ruling an art? రాజ్యం పరిపాలించడం ఒక కళనా అనేసి అడుగుతాడు సోక్రటిస్ థైరాసిమాకస్కి. He says yes. If it is an art, an artist paints something not for his satisfaction but for the satisfaction of the people who are looking at it. Artist always looks for people's satisfaction. Hence, even a ruler is an artist. The ruler should not think about his interest here, just like an artist. Ruler should think about the so-called people. Hence, whatever is just for the ruler is not just for the people. Whatever is just for the people should be the thing which you have to consider. Which means you are saying might is right, but this is wrong. Why? Might is the ruler, but justice is not in the context of ruler. Justice should be in the context of people. Hence, if ruling is an art, then people are the so-called justice cannot be might is right. Then he asks third question, whether people should obey laws. Yes, obviously he says yes, people should obey laws. Now why should they obey laws? Because he says that it is made by the king. Who is king? The mighty fellow. Now he says this, people should obey laws not because it is made by king, but because it is in the interests of the public. ఎవరో ఒకరి సాటిస్ఫై అవుతారనేసి లాస్ని మనం పాటించకూడదు. యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ హెల్పింగ్ ఎవ్రీ వన్, we have to follow the law. Otherwise, if you are just fearing about the king and if you are following, you don't obey law when your king is not watching, right? There are many laws in India. Why people don't commit mistakes is if people, if there is police, traffic police, will maintain our rules. Why? We are obeying law because of the mighty fellow. Otherwise, he will have hefty penalties. But that is not justice. As per Socrates, you have to wear helmet not because of traffic police, but this is because of your interest, your own interest. That is called in the interest of the public. In the interest of the public, you should wear this. So he says that, so your concept that might is right, the strong is the right, cannot be holding the value. This is what he said. So this is the debate that we'll be having. Now Thyrasimachus says that this fellow is mad. He is speaking different things. So I'll move it from here and he will move on. In that debate, there will be two more persons who will be sitting. And here you have Glaucon and Adamantis. Yesterday I discussed up to the previous slide. Now you have two persons today, that is Glaucon and Adamantis. They say that justice is only instrumental good, not intrinsically it is good. Why they say this is, the life of an unjust person is better. Look at the surroundings. Those who are unjust, they are having a better life. They are those who are leading a justice life. And only the appearance of justice is worthwhile. So justice will be only for a while, but after that you have to face your challenges. What do they are suggesting? Glaucon and Adamantis are saying, look Socrates, you are saying that justice is ultimate truth, justice is universal, justice is something which makes everyone happy. But look at the people who are being just, they are very poor, they do not have money. And the rich people, mighty people, they have everything and they have luxurious pleasures. They are leading their life very well. Now how can you consider that justice something which is beyond, or justice is something which is beyond every other virtue? So that is what they question, this person. In short, they are questioning, if you are unjust you are going to be happy. This is what Glaucon and Adamantis said. And that theory of justice that is propounded by Glaucon and Adamantis is known as pragmatic theory. Practical. Be practical. What is practical? So, justice is practical. Practical means depending upon the situation, justice changes. What is that situation? If your father is angry, we will lie, right? If they are cool, we will tell our truth. So that is called pragmatic approach. What is pragmatic? Do something which will be helping you at that moment, right? This is also known as contractual theory of justice. Contractual theory. Pragmatic theory or contractual theory. I discussed about conventional theory, I discussed about radical theory. Now this is contractual theory or pragmatic theory. Now, what he says is, Glaucon and Adamantis says is, just is something being wiser and pragmatic. Just is something like being wiser and pragmatic. If you are wise, what is wise? Wise means at that particular time you try to escape from the damage that is going to be caused. So this says that wiser and pragmatic is justice. Justice has to serve this purpose. For that they say In order to understand this, further they say, see, there are three types of virtues. You are saying that justice is virtue in itself, right?